Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ultimate Fashion History's 20th Century Style Icon series. In this episode we're going to put our lips together and blow because we're doing Lauren Bacall. Lauren, or Betty Bacall as she was known to her friends, was suggested to me by Ultimate Fashion History Facebook group member Peter. Good idea, Peter. I'm really excited to do Lauren Bacall for so many reasons, not least of all because I believe she's the only golden age of Hollywood star I have ever been in the same room as, kind of. In the early 1970s, when I was a very little girl, I was taken to see Lauren in the musical Applause. But more excitedly, my dad, David Wolfe, actually met Lauren Bacall. He had a friend who was working on the Parkinson show in the 1970s who wangled him a backstage pass so he could hang out and talk to Lauren Bacall in the green room of the Parkinson show. He said that he remembers that she was very nice, rather tipsy, and was wearing a very elegant beige jersey outfit. This outfit. So this is Lauren Bacall on the night she met my dad. Obviously a high point in her career. Haha. Lauren Bacall is an icon in so many categories. Of course, she's an American icon, but she's also a 1940s icon. She is an icon of Golden Age Hollywood. She's the poster girl for a happy marriage. But of course, we are here to discuss Lauren Bacall as a 20th century style icon, and she absolutely was. I want to focus on Lauren's signature style because what makes somebody a style icon? Well, in this series, we've discussed many different reasons why somebody becomes a style icon, but one of the reasons is surely to harness a signature look and stick to it for decades. And that's exactly what Lauren Bacall did. She never looked out of date, and yet her overarching style aesthetic never changed. Let's take a look. Provocative Lauren Bacall. Well, that's certainly a word to describe her. When I think of Lauren Bacall, I think of power. I think of confidence. I think of this self-assured sexuality and command she had with that deep, husky voice and that kind of slinky sexiness. But it wasn't always so. Lauren Bacall's image was very manufactured by the studios, but of course it fit her perfectly. She began, of course, as a model discovered by Diana Vreeland, who said, "She's wonderful looking, but she looks like nobody else." And that's absolutely true. For although she didn't have that sort of Betty Grable girl next door prettiness that was so beloved in the 1940s, she had the power, that strength that was really the overriding aesthetic in terms of fashion and beauty in the 40s. It's no wonder that Vreeland fell in love with her. She was so extraordinary looking, sort of cat-like and sinuous, and of course she was tall and thin, the perfect body for a model. When she arrived in Hollywood at just 19 years of age, however, little Lauren didn't have the confidence that she had in print editorials. First of all, she had quite a high-pitched voice with a slightly Brooklyn accent, which of course the Hollywood studios fixed by giving her her signature husky voice. But she was so terrified in front of the camera that she would actually tremble. And so to stop her head from trembling, she would lower her chin so that it sort of hit her neck or her shoulder, and then look up at the camera with those beautiful heavy-lidded eyes. And of course this became known as the look. Lauren Bacall and the look. This look that was so sensuous that every man just melted. And yet, although there was something so womanly about Lauren Bacall from the get-go, she really was just a kid when she arrived in Hollywood. If you look at a candid picture of her, you can see she really was just a 19-year-old kid. Take away the cigarette and she could look like any one of my students, possibly in the class when I talk about Lauren Bacall. And yet, when the director said action, something happened to Lauren Bacall and she was transformed into possibly the sexiest woman alive. This strong, self-assured and sinuous sexuality was also echoed in her wardrobe throughout her life. You never see frills or ruffles or much lace on any of Lauren Bacall's wardrobe. Everything was strong, it was striking, it was minimal. She wore color with absolute confidence, which is why it's such a shame that so many of her movies are in black and white. It was simple, it was sinuous, it was sexy, it was minimal. And this look she continued throughout her life in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s. Look, all of these looks are completely fashionable and contemporaneous, but they're still all falling under the same fashion aesthetic, aren't they? In the 80s, and in the 2000s, look at this fabulous, minimal, sexy, slinky suit. And take a look at her here, 85 years old in 2009, winning her honorary Oscar. And look at that beautiful, simple gown. Almost 70 years had passed, and yet Lauren was still drawing on the same fashion playbook as she was as a 19-year-old kid in Hollywood. Another continuum of Lauren Bacall's signature style was, of course, her hair. This beautiful side-parted cascade of dark blonde hair. I have changed my hairdo about 925 times in my life. Lauren Bacall didn't change hers in about 70 years, although, of course, when she first arrived in Hollywood, that's the first thing they wanted to change. And check out these rather strange hair tests. Hollywood experimenting with hairdos that might suit her better. Of course, the studio always did this to everyone, but ultimately they arrived at the hairdo that Lauren already had, this side-parted hair. And thank goodness, take a look at her here, with this brown center-parted updo. She looks fine, she looks great, but she doesn't look like Lauren Bacall. I saw an interview where Lauren Bacall discussed her signature hairdo, and she explained that it was very easy for her to always get the part exactly where it was supposed to be, because the part is symmetrical absolutely to the highest point of her brow. I guess the lesson here is when you find the perfect hairdo for your face, stick with it. Lauren Bacall certainly did. There she is in the 40s, there she is in the 50s, there she is in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. She only changed her hairdo towards the very end of her life, where she actually weirdly went back to one of the hairdos rejected by the studios. This one, it's almost exactly the same hairdo. I think possibly the reason that she changed her hairdo after almost 70 years was that being a woman in her 80s, her hair was probably thinning. And also, although this side-parted, swooping hairdo looks so effortless, it does take a lot of pin curls and setting and stuff like that. And who wants to be bothered with that when you're a woman in your 80s? But look how pretty she looked. Lauren Bacall was in the public eye for almost 70 years, and although she always looked absolutely up to date in terms of fashion, her signature style never changed, which is why I was so glad that a few years ago FIT, the museum at FIT, honored her with an exhibition of clothes from both her movies and her personal wardrobe. And you can really see that this sexy, simple, sinuous minimalism was always at the forefront of her own personal style, which is why she's an icon. I'm very glad that the incredible Lauren Bacall never succumbed to silly surgery. She was always very happy to age. That self-confidence that she lacked as a kid arriving in Hollywood at 19 years of age was soon replaced by an absolute self-assuredness of who she was. And this is really played out with a wonderful quote and a wonderful photograph of the very old Lauren Bacall, who died when she was 89. I think your whole life shows in your face And you should be proud of that. Well, Lauren, I think we're all proud of you. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on the Ultimate Fashion History. You can contact me through my website, amandahalley.com. Like us on Facebook, as they say. Better yet, join our Facebook group. We always have loads of fun over there. Stay up to date with new episodes. Simply click the little bell under the channel art, then click Send Me Notifications, because I'm back every week with new episodes, but first you have to click that little circle to subscribe. And as always, thanks ever so much for watching. Bye for now.